And what do you do with the rest of your day?
Family, hobby, and now we moved to Turkey. And then we saw a nice villa and rented it for 1 year now. And now we are most time here.
$1,000 in profit every single day is $30K in profit per month. And that's exactly how much my student Felix makes every single month for the past few years. It's not that it's constantly crashing and he has like a month where it's zero and then a month where it's 20K or 30K. No, it's consistently over this line of $30,000, and he was actually the very first person who broke the record in the program for making his first $100,000 in profit in one single month. This might sound crazy, however, we're going to talk a lot about how to actually beat all of your competition and make sure that you're dominating the whole market. It's super insightful what we're going to talk about, and we're also going to share a few things about like how his life changed, and he literally just moved to Turkey with all his family. And the craziest part is that before we actually started working together a few years ago, he was working as a postman. He basically just was delivering mails to houses, and he just started crushing it with e-commerce. And basically this is just one of those crazy stories. You need to listen to this, all right?
All right, welcome Felix to the second interview we're doing on the channel here. We talked like how long ago, maybe a year or like 8-9 months ago or something like that. And yeah, you basically were the first person to actually break 100K profit in 1 month inside of the program. So that's why you had like you were on last time. But yeah, I mean, maybe you can tell your story, how everything went for you, like since the last interview and also before, just like to recap for people who didn't watch the first one.
Okay. Yes, nice to talk again, and maybe you know me. I'm Felix from Austria, and we started 2020 with dropshipping and learned from scratch all the strategies and how to do everything. And yeah, I focused very intensive on this thing and wanted to be successful, and it worked really fast in the beginning, and maybe a little bit of luck, and also the COVID thing maybe was a good situation because a lot of people were in front of the screen. Yes, and I think, I don't know how long it's ago, last year, summer, I think, maybe we talked, and yeah, I made in July the 100K profit. I never hit that again, but on a lower level, very consistent, without a lot of work, and very automated everything, and have a lot of time for family and traveling. And I'm only optimizing things, so I think about some things that I can optimize, and sometimes I try a few things, try other products, but I do not test a lot. So maybe I see a product, but it's not often, where I check all the details, price, and all the things, and then I have a very good rate of winning. So maybe I test 10 products and 5 work, but I do not test 5 products. So I have also other things I test. So German market, TikTok, such things I try, and always try the different strategies. But most time that doesn't work. So I often keep on the old strategy that always worked. And yeah, this is
basically the one which I taught you from the start, like the same thing. You didn't really change the whole thing up. It was just consistently the same strategy.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, interesting. And you're saying basically what's like why the things are working is because the rate of products you test, most of them actually work.
You mean the rate of
basically of winning products? Like you said that out of 10 products, 5 are winners. What would you base that on? Why is that actually the case?
I think 5 of 10 is not correct, but because I'm testing with this special strategy, I'm earning now the money, testing not
With
a
this
lot.
what? With this what?
So I have now running products, profitable, but I do not find similar products that also fits to this case, that they can also sell with this strategy, this marketing, this all this. So it's very there are not a lot of products that fit to this situation. So I cannot test a lot of products because they don't fit. So sometimes I see a product and maybe it would be good. Yeah, but most time I know, okay, this product not possible. I know
it's really picky.
I know it before testing.
So you're extremely picky with the products you're testing, and you only test products which are like a 10 out of 10.
Yes. So yeah, exactly. So I only test products if I really have a good feeling, if I really all the criteria are very good. And yes, now after 2 years, I know it. So I know a lot of things and what is working, what not. So I do not have to test a lot of things.
So here, very, very important to distinguish, like if a beginner watches this right now and thinks, okay, Felix said you basically just have to base it on your feeling. It's not correct. Okay, in the beginning, you don't do that. Like you can only allow yourself to actually base things on feelings, because right now you have like the feeling is not really a real feeling. It's you seeing what's good and what's bad and what criteria are fit. It's like this feeling is shown by you immediately thinking about all the criteria, and because they fit, then you have a good feeling. It's not the other way around. It's not that I like this product and that's why it's good. So that's very important to distinguish.
And I think all dropshippers who earn consistently good money with dropshipping, they had 1, 2, 3 years where they worked a lot and tried a lot and tested and found some strategies, some products, some markets that made them money. And I think all dropshippers, they find one type of product, one market, one strategy, and focus on that. So I think there are a lot of dropshippers, but everyone has a little bit different strategy, a little bit different way how he earns money. But you have to find your way and try a lot. So you have to learn a lot, try a lot, test a lot, and after a lot of time and work, you will find a way how it works, and then you can focus on that and do the same again and again. So never change your running system. So the things you know that work, you do again. So and I also see a lot of other dropshippers, but a lot of them they sell in Germany and make also a lot of good money, good of numbers. But I know they have a completely different strategy, and I don't know. I couldn't copy this because it's all different.
Exactly. So yeah, this is exactly what like I'm constantly preaching. Basically, stick to one strategy and don't switch things up as long as it's working. On the side, you can keep testing new things, but you need to rely on the main strategy. So what you said previously is, okay, you started testing TikTok, you started testing this and this and that, but the main thing, which is always making you money, is one main focus, and that's the big one. And then on the side, if you have time, if you have the money, it's not a problem at all if you test new things. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, maybe go into like a little bit the numbers which you're currently doing, and like the margins and how many winning products you have, etc.
Now I have 3 winning products. So I don't know if you can call it winning. So they do not win, and after 2-3 months they lose. So they are consistent. 3 products, 3 stores, and it's around 8K a day revenue. Margin is so 15% on average. So it's these days this store better than this store better, but it's always so a little bit over 1K profit a day. So up and down, and it's very comfortable number, because if you have 30K, you can spend 10K and can put 20 on the side, or I don't know, if you have taxes, then you can spend 5 and put 10K on the side. So
yeah, so basically 1K profit per day, which equates to 30K per month, is a very, very good number to sit on if it is consistent. And I agree with that. And you're saying that like basically this is a number which is not like this month is really good and then everything crashes again. On average, if you look at the year, it's 30K per month times 12. That's basically the thing you're saying, right?
Yeah, I also see some people that do maybe then 150K profit a day or a million revenue a month. But if you then have 3-4 months nothing or not that much, then they are not better. So, and they have to work, or maybe I think there are a lot of people who have bigger numbers, but they on average a year, I don't know if
I agree.
100%. How much time they spend is also
yeah. And like I mean, if you have this consistency in place, then it's not a problem at all to get a little bit more comfortable, because in the beginning you need like if you have like one really good month of 30K and that's your top best month, and then you get comfortable, probably it's not going to keep going. But if you consistently have that, and it's not that big of a deal, and I don't see it, for example, as your goal, like to make way more. I think your goal is more to actually like now focus on the things you want to do and get like 30K in profit per month, which is like totally fine.
Yes. So for me, it's also not easy to do that what they do now 3 times. So to have more stores and more products is not. So I think if I would not have these stores now, and if I would not make profit, then I would work more and find again things that work to that level. So, but if I'm at this level, then I'm not that motivated, or are not spending so much energy and time to get a higher level. And it's also not, some older think he know how it's working, it's easy, but for me it's also not easy to double the profit amounts. It's also not easy. So it's always struggles, work, and time and energy. So, but yeah, so in my case, it's always handled in at 30K profit. So now, so 200 over 200K revenue.
Yeah. So 8K per day, like 240, something like that. Cool. And what would you say is the difference between making 10K profit per month and 30K profit per month, like in a lifestyle point, and also in how much you need to do and how the business generally is?
So lifestyle is a very big difference, because if you have 10K profit, you have to pay taxes 5K, then you have 5K. And you can do a lot with this. So also it's also much of money, but so I can put way more money on the side and invest, and I can also test different things. I can hire an agency. So I also hired an agency, CRO agency. So they test a lot of different things on the store, test this 2 weeks, and then they have the exact numbers, what's the conversion rate, how much more money you make with it, and then I apply these things, and they take 5K a month. So, and if you make 10, it's you can do it, but it's very risky. So you cannot invest a lot and try a lot. So, and I always can spend $100 a day testing new things on ads and shops, and I think I always do such things, to test new things, and a little bit, not that much time or work, but I always have the eyes open, and check what things others do, and so It's very important.
Is you need to you need to realize the difference between profit and revenue. And for a lot of people, it seems like if you, let's say you make let's say 100K per month in revenue. If you, for example, hire an agency which charges 5K, in comparison, that doesn't seem like a lot.
Yeah.
But what you need to understand that 5K are not deducted from 100K. But whatever you make from the 100K, let's say your profit, let's say your profit is 20K, just as an example. Make 20K, directly out of those 20K, the 5K will be deducted. Every extra expense after you're breaking even is like it's extra. So it goes directly from your profit. And it's very important to understand that because it's a huge difference and you can kind of get lost. And it looks very like the comparisons are very, very big. And if you see like a huge revenue number and then you also think, all right, it's just an extra expense. So it's not a big deal because I'm also going to be deducting it from taxes. It's like it's from the 100K. But in reality, it's from the 20K. That's very important. So yeah.
And I also always try to optimize small things. For example, PayPal account. So I can have a PayPal account in Germany, Austria, or I can have one with a company in the US or somewhere else. And you have different fees. So if you have, for example, for an Austrian PayPal account, you have additional 2% for foreign sales. And it makes it so I think a lot of people, they do not check this thing. But if you think 2%, if you have 50% PayPal, you have 1% difference of revenue. You have 1% more of revenue. And if you have 20% margin, you have 5% more margin.
Exactly. So it's also all from the profit.
Small thing, and also Shopify payments or other things. There are a lot of small things you can optimize, and it's under 1% things, but on the profit, it's a lot. And such things, if you dig deep in all such things and optimize all that, it's very hard to even have competition. If you have a good store, good profit, and if optimize all the things, and someone else is testing this, at the beginning, he hasn't optimized all the things, and it's very hard for them to even, they think it's not a winner, it's not profitable. But for you, you have optimized everything. It's also, if you have only 15% or 20%, it pays off.
Yeah, for sure. And basically what you're saying is what your time and focus goes into is the product which are constantly working for you. You split test there a lot. However, you don't test extra new product because you already have those 3 winners, correct? Yeah.
Most time is spent for the existing stores and products. So optimize and test. Because it pays off. I work on the running system. It doesn't make a lot of sense to work on anything else that I don't know if it works. At first, I do everything it's possible to do for this running system to make it better. And after that, I can try for new things.
And again, here, very big distinguishment. It's 3 products. It's not 1. It's 3. That's a big difference because with 1 product, I wouldn't say this, like you wouldn't say the same thing and I wouldn't say the same thing, that you can now just focus everything on 1 because 1, everybody knows, can always go down. And like as long as you have 3, that's fine. But don't go ahead and think, all right, these guys said you just need to focus on the running this system. I have 1 profitable product, so I just should go all in on that. No, 3 products is the bare minimum. Okay, so like even 2 is too little. Like, I like the 3. I also like to keep the range of like 3 to 4. As long as I have that, I'm happy. Something goes down, I start testing more.
So I always had, or I often had only 1 product, and it wasn't a good feeling. So it's and one day, 1 second, everything can be done. So I don't know, Facebook, anything, the page or the product doesn't sell anymore. It's so many things, and then you have nothing. So it's very important to have then more feeds.
For sure. So what would you say from an optimization standpoint, what were the biggest game changers for you? Like what did you specifically optimize to actually make things better after you did okay?
So I think most made so abandoned cart things, SMS, email. it makes a lot. So if you test and do not have this, you lose money. So and the next thing is upsell. So upsell, cross sell makes a big difference. So if you have nothing, no upsell. So, yeah, this is the biggest change. So if you test the product without that, or you test the product with that, so it's a big difference. So you can make email marketing, but the biggest part of email marketing is always the abandoned cart flows. So if you have it's very easy to activate them, but if you don't, then you lose. And also SMS, I have a store where it pays off very good. So I think 5,000% on the cost of the app. So
yeah. So are you saying that you're constantly optimizing that, or did you mean that you just did it once and that's constantly running?
So most things I set up once, but I could do better. So I could dig deeper in the. So you can also split test. So post purchase flows or abandonment flows. You can split test, and I think you can also make that better so that it pays off.
Yeah. Okay, understand. But yeah, like what would you say was the thing which actually made you the most consistent? So the consistency, where does that come from? And also, how did you get to this optimizing standpoint that everything is consistently running in the background?
Yeah, I think it's not possible with every product. So the product, if you have a hype product, you cannot sell it consistently. It has to be a product that the people need always. So there is a consistent need for the product that the people. Maybe it's I don't know, after 5 years, you need a new one, something like that, and then you can sell it consistently, and you also have to go into the branding a little bit. So you have, so I always, for example, add a small sheet of paper with a discount code to the package, and they get it, and they can give it to friends, and they get a discount, and a lot of such brand things that keep it very consistent, and they have trust to the brand, and they are happy with the product. Most important is that they get the product and they are happy with the purchase, so that they do not think it's shit. So it's the most important. And if you have a good product and the customers are happy, then you can build this branding. And this is I think it's, you need that if you want to sell consistently. You need happy customers, and then you can go into branding.
100%. It just makes everything way more stable. You have less problems with everything, and on top, you also increase margins by just having repeat customers or people who like buy, refer, etc.
So you know the Facebook customer feedback score on the page, and I had a lot of weeks 5 of 5. So I have on average maybe 4.7 or 4.6, and then you know the customers are happy. But so the product takes 1 to 2 weeks until they get it, but they are happy. So, and if you have this customer feedback, then you know you can scale or you can make it consistently.
100%. And like so far overall, like in the whole time period, what would you say? How much revenue did you make an estimate, just roundabout?
What I did on overall? I didn't count, but around 3 to 4 million, I think.
Nice. Okay, and that's over the last like 2 years. And what, like, when we started out, what would you say, what were the main game changers? Because I remember you also did some revenue before we started, but it was not really profitable. What, like, just getting back to the very beginning, what were the main game changers which we kind of applied to actually make things work from the get-go?
At the beginning, so the first product, I can remember, it's the sales. At the first days, I got sales, so the product was good at the beginning. I don't know. So it always, yeah, I tested and tried product, and some worked and some worked not, and I always focused on the things that worked. So, and I always think deep into things. So you have to, yeah, you have to think about the product, about the customers, how they feel if they see the ad, how they think about the store. You have to think about the customer side of you and try to understand that. Yeah, so I think this is so. And if you also product quality, shipping time, branding, all the things, if you see it on customer view of that, so then it's different. So if you are the dropshipper and you do things that others do, or it's not that simple. So we have to think about all these things more in detail.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you say that, because I've seen this phenomenon pretty often, and for me, like, I've had this also, that after a while, you think that, like, the main game changers were the things which you're doing right now. And I would say that what was in the beginning was not this. Like, thinking about your, like, the customers, or like really optimizing on the quality, that was not the thing which we changed that actually made everything work. What I would say here is that the main things we changed was the product selection and the way we tested. So, like, when you did it just before we got started, the products you tested were not what you would test right now. Do you agree? Yeah. And when we started, then basically it was just the criteria. So, like, you really, what you did really well, you actually only tested the product which fit everything perfectly, and we selected the first product. And I'm not 100% sure if it was the first product which actually worked out immediately, or the second or third.
It was the first.
Yeah, the first one. So it was just because we selected everything perfectly, and we also agreed on, okay, you just test anything which actually is like 10 out of 10, nothing else. And yeah, basically, like, what I've seen happens over the time is you kind of think that the things you're doing right now are the game changers when you started out also, but in the beginning it was different thing. So that's why it's very important to distinguish, like, advice, which is for intermediate guys, for advanced guys, and for beginners. That's why, like, what I've also, like, for me, a big learning curve through YouTube, through doing the YouTube, was to understand like the different kind of audiences which actually watch, and everybody understands everything completely different. That's why I constantly have to double down on, okay, this is not for you, this is too advanced for you, or the other way around. So
yeah, at the beginning I had no strategy, no clue how I start, what's important. So this was the biggest problem, and yeah, so because of that, it was a very big difference to have you on the side and tell me what is important. So if you do not know that you do anything, yeah, and the chance that it doesn't work is very high. So yeah,
yes,
this made a difference for me.
Yeah, 100%. But what would you say is kind of the reactions you got from, like, because I know what happened to me, but I'm curious how it went for you. Like, what everybody in your friend circle or your family, or just generally people, reacted in the beginning when you started out, and also now when everything works. What's the difference?
Yeah, at the beginning, everyone thought that, I don't know, completely lost. So they thought, what are you doing? So, and I also canceled my jobs, so that I had jobs and really good jobs. I got cars, and also with fuel, I had to pay the fuel and everything I had. So, but yeah, a little bit more. I earned more than average, but yeah, it wasn't my way. So, and I stopped these jobs, and they asked why and why do you do it, and I spent a lot of time to learn other things and try other things, and they didn't know why I do it. And yeah.
Did you quit your job after things started to work or before?
What do you mean?
Did you quit the job after things started working out or before?
I had 2 jobs, so I stopped one job and then I had, yeah, so it was,
okay.
So, but I had, I think on 2019, where I started to try to know dropshipping. I had, I think, 3-4 jobs, so I always 1, 2, 3 months and quit it again because I didn't like it, and so I always tried to. So yeah, it's right. I didn't want to have this job and find this perfect job, but I had to take a job because I didn't earn a lot enough with other income streams, so I had to take the jobs, but I always wasn't happy and quit it again, and yeah, had a side hustle job, and it was a little bit of struggle, but I knew I will make it. So I kept learning and trying and doing, and yeah, so all in, a little bit of all in. So yeah.
And how did everybody react after it started working?
Yeah, they they were asking, so why, and so most people were asking what I do and how I do it, and a lot of them asked, can I do that also? And but someone who is working on I don't know, sometimes they have jobs they do not work on the desk. If you have jobs maybe on the, I don't know, they are standing on the rooftop of the house every day and building houses, and they do not know anything on the internet and computer, and they ask how I do it, and they also want, and I have to say, no, it's very hard for you. You can try, but, and then they see it by themselves that they will never be able to do that, or it's hard for them. But yeah, it's always a thing. If you really want it, you can do it. So it's always a thing. But the most of them, they
don't really want it. Yeah, that's the main problem. They don't want it.
Exactly.
They say that they want it, and they think that they want it, but they don't want
to put everything in. They do not want to spend the time, the money, the energy for it. So they want an easier way, but it's never possible. People
who ask to like about dropshipping, and just like people who see that it works for you, are not looking to do dropshipping. They're looking for a cheat code to get money. That's like, they expect you to tell them, hey, do this, and in the next few weeks, you're just going to make a crazy amount of money. That's it. That's what they expect, which is obviously not reality. And if there would be this thing, everybody immediately would start doing it, and it would stop working. And that's why there's not this thing. So basically with those kind of people, it's very important to give them some kind of barrier to entry and explain them how difficult it actually is. Because everybody who starts without a barrier to entry in terms of some kind of financial investment, something, they think they're just going to waste your time. They will waste your time. And if you just start, they're just helping everybody who you know with their business. Nobody is doing it. You need to understand the words which are coming out of their mouth is not what actually happens. Like they're saying, I'm really committed. I actually want to do this. Trust me, I really want this. We don't know anybody who works harder, but you don't. Like you actually know a lot of people who work harder. And he's the person who's telling you, is actually thinking. It's not that they're lying to you, because they really think that, but it's not reality, and they don't understand what it takes and how the progress is. So in the end of the day, you cannot just help everybody just like that and that's it.
I think a lot of people say that they will work harder as everyone else.
Yeah.
They also only say it if they think it's easier. It is really is. So
exactly.
if you tell them from the beginning on, you have to spend this time, this money, and this energy, and you have to work 2 years, and maybe it will not work.
Yeah.
So maybe you will work 2 years, and you only will lose money. If you tell them all the really bad situations, and if he starts working a lot, after that you said, after they know that it's hard, then maybe they are able to do it. So they really have to know that it can be very hard. So, and then if they have a higher willingness of reaching the goal, then if they then it's possible. But if they maybe say they will work very hard, and they say, okay, it will be hard, but if they think it's not that hard, then it's not easy for them.
Yes, you need to do two things. Either you need to get, like, if a really close friend or a family member asks you, hey, can you please help me? I'm actually serious about this. I really, really want to do this. I'm the hardest worker you're ever going to see. Okay, they tell you that. You only have two options. Either you tell them, all right, watch this video and do exactly watch this video, follow those criteria, and find me 50 products which fit those criteria.
Yeah.
Watch how many of them are going to do that. Okay, that's one way of dealing with it, because nobody will find you 50 products, because it actually takes work, and they're going to understand. And they're going to understand, whoa, so searching for product actually takes time. And then after I found the product, I don't even know if it's going to work. And then wait, I watched this video and he's saying that after I test the product, I actually have to spend money before knowing if anything will work. All right, maybe this is actually not for me. This is one way of dealing with it. The other way is, if it's a close friend and you don't want to charge them money, you just tell them, look, donate however much, whatever is like okay for them, say 500 euros to this random charity. If you do that, I'm actually helping you, because before that, you're not going to commit. They also won't do that. So they're not serious. Yeah. And that's it. And nobody did that. Nobody will do this. Okay. So yeah, in the end of the day, you need to really only focus on the people who actually want it from their motivation, not just like watching you succeed. And that's what's motivating them, and that's the only reason why they actually want to do it. Because if you just see a person who made something work, for a few seconds you're like super hyped and you think you're gonna make it, but that's not it.
Yeah, the thing is how hard they want it. So most time they wanted 20%. Then there are a lot of, they want 30% or 50%. But you have to want it 100%. If you want it 100%, then you put all the energy. But very less people want it 100%. So this is, I think, it's.
And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, because if everybody would want to really want it 100%, dropshipping wouldn't work. There wouldn't be a good business model at all. If everybody was just a person who crushes, who actually really, really is good and does everything perfectly, no business model would be a good one, because everybody would be on this level where everybody's okay. So this is actually an opportunity to stand out. Okay. And it's also I don't know where I've heard this, but there's this bias where every person who sees a percentage of people making something, for example, winning in the lottery, thinks that they are this percentage, because you think you are the epicenter of the whole universe. You basically think you don't apply to the statistics, and you think that winning the lottery is not 1 to 49 million, but it's a way higher percentage. Because when you play lottery, it's almost a 50-50. Maybe I'm going to do it, maybe not. It doesn't feel like actually those numbers, because everybody themselves doesn't feel like they are part of the statistic because they are them and they're something special. But in reality, they are part of the statistic, and that's normal. That's it.
Yeah, it's the same case with lottery. If they always show the winners very big and in the newspaper and everywhere, then they think then it's very near to them. So they think it's possible. But if you would tell them the truth, how many bought the ticket, then they wouldn't do it. But it's always the
and even then they wouldn't do it. And even then they would do it. And like, because it doesn't feel different if I say lottery is 1 to 49 million or 1 to 39 million or 29 million. It's exactly the same percentage in your head. Exactly the same. And that's the main problem.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. But how much time do you currently invest into doing business?
Now, 2 hours a day. But it's because because I want to optimize things. So I want to do things better as it's now. But I also could leave it as it is and only pay the supplier the money. So that's all. I also could do that. But,
so 1 to 2, you just like that actually feels to you like you're actually putting in the work to make things better, and you could even just like be at 0 basically.
Yeah, and it's always, I think if you always pop up some things you can do and optimize, and you want, in some things I want to continue and I want to go to higher levels. And if you do nothing, you will lose. So because others do things, and if you do nothing, they overtake you. So it's always the same. I think if you completely do nothing, then you will lose. So you have to. But it's not much time. So 2 hours a day, I think it's no problem. It's really nothing if you compare to other.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know, 6 hours or on the computer day. But then maybe 3 days not. And I also, like I want and like I have time. So it doesn't need to have that consistent.
Yeah. And what do you do with the rest of your day?
Family, hobby, and now we moved to Turkey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we have our home in Austria. We have still the home. But we had made holidays a lot of times, of vacation here, and in January we checked a lot of villas and houses here, and we only wanted to see what is possible, what it costs, and so on. And then we saw a nice villa and rented it for 1 year now, and now we are most time here, and it's very big. Maybe I can show you a few images.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe you can send them to me, and I'm gonna put them into the video.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just that, like that's I assume that's what you kind of had in mind when you started things out, and that's why you did everything. And it wasn't this for the first like year or so, like it was not at all, probably even longer. It's not what you expect in the beginning.
So I never had a time where I'm so independent and free like now. So yeah, I can enjoy it a lot. So yeah, no one can say me anything. No one can tell me what I have to do. So, and I can be everywhere, and I can sleep a day and wake up, and so it's completely, so no one can say me anything. I can do what I want and everywhere on the world. So, and this is I'm very thankful, and I know there are not a lot of people who can do that. And
100%.
And it all pays off. So all paid off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I wanted And I had this in my mind. So I had this before in my mind. I had this goal, and I wanted to reach that level where no one can say me anything. And if you have to pay bills, I don't know any things to pay. I wanted that it's, yeah, I don't care about that some such payments or things I have to pay. And that was my goal, and now, yeah, I enjoy it. And and the most people, I think, they cannot imagine this situation. They even don't know it, this situation, because they only see people who work the whole day, but you have this, if you
outside of this like e-com and like generally business bubble, there's almost no people like that. Like there's very, very few people who in age, which, how old are you? How old are you? Hello?
Yeah.
Are you there? How old are you?
what do you want to say?
How old are you is the question.
So how old I am? I
Yeah.
didn't understand you. 31 now.
31. So that age, basically, in the real world, like outside of business, there's nobody, literally nobody, being able to work like 1 to 2 hours per day and make a really good sustainable income every single month.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And that's just the difference. And you don't see this possibility, and that's like a very, very good point you made. Like you don't see the possibility without having anybody either in your friend circle or like outer circle or somebody you kind of see. Without having that, you don't even know that it's possible. And even watching people on YouTube and us talking about it right now, it probably doesn't feel real to most people. Like it doesn't feel like, if I watch a random video of a billionaire, I don't understand, like it doesn't feel real to me. I cannot really relate to like Elon Musk because it's so outside of my reality. And the same thing goes for like a lot of beginners who are just watching like dropshipping videos, and they think like either they just don't believe at all that nothing is going to work, or they're like, all right, I know what to do. I'm just going to do everything perfectly, and I'm going to crush it from now on because I saw this guy say that the product has to be problem solving. I'm just going to do that, and now I'm going to test the product, and everything is going to work out exactly like I want it. It's also not reality, and you have to have this balance of realism, but actually making sure that you understand that it's possible, okay? Because it is possible, but the realistic way is not the shortcut. Like the shortcut is not a good way of thinking about anything. The good way of thinking about it is like you work your way up to the shortcut. There is a shortcut for sure. Like there's tons of shortcuts. However, you actually put in some kind of effort or some kind of risk or something to actually like get this shortcut. And that's the main things what just needs to be understand. Maybe anything you would say to like people who are at like a 5 to 10K level or are also just testing products, nothing is really working. What would you give them as like the main piece of advice to actually get to where they want to be?
It's very hard, but I think there are a few main things. You have to know your goal. So you not detail, but you have to know where you want to go. Most people, I think they have that. And keep consistent trying, working, learning, open eyes. And I see a lot of people, they see things and always think that no, this doesn't work, maybe this is a scammer, and I never thought that on all things. I looked into it very deeply and tried it and learned about it. So you have to be open-minded, and you have to want it really much. So you have to go through very hard times, and you have to believe on yourself. And if you believe on yourself and you keep working and having your goal in your mind and trying this and learning there, then you will reach it. So, and someone says only 1% can make it. but you can make you being that 1%.
Yeah.
You can decide of it's not yes, you can decide to be this 1%, and you make the decision with working, learning, believing in yourself, getting better, and so on. So you can decide to be this 1%, and this you have to know. The most people think it's not possible because only very less people make it. But this is because the most people think that it happens, but it doesn't happen. You make it to this point. So I think this is, yeah, if you understand it, it's very important to move on.
Yeah. Amazing, man. Yeah, I mean, really appreciate you being on here. To everybody watching right now, if you,
I have a screenshot. So for yesterday's snapshot, I don't know if you can see it. It's net 1,000.
Yeah.
1,130 net yesterday. So
that's profit, pure profit. Yeah, awesome. And that's the main thing which people need to understand is the difference in consistency and guess. Because like one day, one great day, it's one thing, and 1K per day over a period of a year is something completely different.
yeah,
It's the world. So yeah, to everybody watching right now, if you understood from this interview that this is not easy, and you understand that, and you actually understand that it will require a lot of work, a lot of like effort to actually get where you want to get to, and you understand that, and you're also willing to actually do exactly that, then click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session, and we're going to find out if everything is a good fit. If yes, we're going to start working together. One way, so we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do, because like you can want it as hard as you want. If you don't know what to do, it's going to be tough. And it's very important to just have the right strategy on your side, as long as you basically go this journey, because you need to go in the right direction and actually know that you're going in the right direction. Because whenever you start doing something, you will not be confident if you're testing the right product, if you're testing the right creative, if you're testing the right store. Everything is going to be you're going to be doubting yourself constantly. Okay, so it's extremely important to have a person who's going to tell you you're doing the right thing or you're doing the wrong thing, and it needs to be as clear as that. All right, so again, to everybody, if you want to get started, click the link below and see you there. Thank you, Felix, for the interview, and yeah, and then talk to you soon. Okay,
bye.
bye.